Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Flavia.
I'm Livia.
And today we'll be talking to you guys about the healing process. So this got brought up this week between us, and Livia had thought about this because when you're going through a healing process, what happens sometimes is you think you've overcome these things, you think you're feeling good and you're over whatever has happened to you, but later down the track you find out that something else new comes up, and it's sometimes hard to work through because you're thinking to yourself, okay, I thought I was over this, I thought this was done.
What I've noticed in my own life is that things happen and you grieve, something happened, made you upset, and you feel that, and then I'm like, oh, I'm feeling so good, and things start unfolding and it's nice, but then all of a sudden it can just hit you like sadness. You're like, oh, I thought I was over this, and then you're like, god damn, I thought I was doing so well and today I'm feeling like this. But it's not actually that you haven't moved forward or that you haven't healed, but it's just another aspect or another layer of it that comes up. And I feel like that happens because you cannot deal with everything at once. So when something happens, when something happens, you're like, oh my gosh, and you feel everything, but that's not everything, because your mind, your unconscious mind and everything, it just brings up what you can cope with in that moment. And then afterwards it can be triggers that come up to heal, but doesn't mean they're back on square one.
I feel like you will also get triggered by certain events. So there might be something that happened at that time that is triggering you to feel this particular way. So it could be, you've broken up with a partner and you're doing great, you're feeling really good, and then you're at home one night and you're feeling not the best. And it's in times like those where those feelings start to come up as well. So it's just a process. I mean, the biggest thing that you need to realize, I find that it helps me as well, it's not forever. This is a temporary thing. This is something that we're going through at this particular moment in time. It's a process, it's a journey. And to not be so stuck on the final destination, because when we're healing from something, it's just a continual process. And through these really difficult times, that's when we grow a lot as well. We grow so much. Sometimes it's you need to be broken apart to be put back together again in a new way.
And even just because you feel bad one day doesn't mean that you haven't healed a lot of it. It's just one aspect to it that comes up, or even just remember that, because it's oh damn, get upset with yourself and thinking that, oh, I thought it was over this.
Well, when you first go through something, an experience that is really traumatic and really affects you. We spoke in our last video about open and honest communication and being open and honest with yourself, and I feel like that connects also to this healing journey, because that's the first step of healing. The first step is acknowledging what you've been through, because usually in situations where you need a lot of healing, it's because something really difficult has happened to you.
Yeah. We're never gonna be fully healed. There's always gonna be something we can improve and work on, but it doesn't mean that you're not perfectly fine where you are and how you're feeling and where you're at, and you're never gonna reach that level where it's everything's just healed, because that's not why we're here. But to give yourself credit for what you've been through and how you cope with things as well.
And something that has definitely helped as well, and I know through past experiences, I'm just gonna go back to breakup. When you break up from a relationship, because I feel for most people that's a huge like everyone's been through it. Well, not everyone, but most people have been through it, and that's such an important time for people to work through what they've experienced. And with Eckhart Tolle, his teachings of the pain body. So you've got the pain body, which is this kind of like learnt experience, like emotional experience of something that you've gone through, which really triggers you, and you kind of act out of this like protection instinct. So with his teachings, he says the same sort of thing, like sit with your pain body and work through that. So when you've gone through a really hard experience, the first reaction for most people, including myself, is to run for the hills and to mask it with things, alcohol, drugs, bad food. You know, that's people's instant reaction. They're like, okay, this is gonna make me feel better. Whereas when you're healing, it's like the most important thing you can do for yourself is actually truly love yourself and sit with yourself and sit through those feelings. As hard as it may be, you will find that you actually heal a lot faster too.
Yeah, you can't heal from it by avoiding it or suppressing it or doing other things. But yeah, definitely way faster. You just sit with that and you're like, oh my god, it's getting so intense and worse, and then all of a sudden it just shifts by itself. And now you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be present with yourself and your feelings, and not denying what you're feeling, and allowing yourself to feel like really upset and sad, whatever it is.
And it's kind of like a roller coaster too. It doesn't, when you're going through a healing journey, it doesn't necessarily have to be like from distraught to, oh, I'm feeling great now. It's kind of like, sometimes it ebbs and flows. Some days you'll be, oh, I feel like so good, so motivated, I'm feeling awesome. And then the next day you may feel like, oh my God, it's like it's the worst day because everything's hitting you all at once. And you can't stop thinking about what's happened. And that's just part of it too.
That's okay.
It's okay as well. And like during that process too, surrounding yourself with good people, so important. So important. To friends, family, having that support network.
But also like not be afraid to be on your own with those feelings and things, and not having to get input from everyone else all the time about it. Because everyone's going to have an opinion, but this is something you've got to work through yourself, but definitely have support from others.
But yeah, that's a big one. I think a lot of people are really scared of themselves, especially when they're going through a journey of healing, because this is when all the shit comes up. And like I said before, a lot of people try to distract themselves with, you know, different substances, food, maybe they want to go out partying, whatever it is.
And even with people.
Yeah, or just meeting, you know, somebody and sleeping with them or whatever it is. And when you do it in that way, it's like you can't, think of it like the trauma, whatever's happened here, and you're pushing it away and away. What's happening is like an elastic band that you're pulling, which is actually the more you pull it, you feel like you're moving further away from it, right? But as soon as you let go a tiny bit, it's going to smack you right back in the face. So it may feel like you're getting further and further away from the pain and from the situation, but really
it's there with you. Whenever you go, it's just there.
It's there, and it will follow you where you go to. So it's kind of that experience that it's like, instead of that elastic band situation, it's like, see it as something that you can love, like see it as something that you can embrace, see it as something that you can stand face to face with and hug.
Yeah, and it's like a gift. This is really annoying to hear if it's a breakup or something that's happened. It's like it's a gift, but it's like a gift what comes up in the emotions, because if you feel sadness, you feel all these things, it could be because some of your like needs have not been met, or it's like comes up for a reason because you care and because you value yourself and because you know what you want, and you know you feel discomfort and you feel comfort, so you can kind of become even more clear on what you want and how you feel. So it's a good thing when you know, embrace what you're feeling, even if it's a feeling of sadness, and you know,
and understanding the lesson from a higher perspective. So not looking at it just for what the situation is, but kind of stepping outside of the situation and saying, okay, what is this teaching me? Maybe more on a spiritual level, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this experience? And if you're there, kind of taking this situation from that perspective, it just really changes the experience from something that's just 100% horrific to something that is going to make you a stronger person, that's going to make you move forward in a better way. Because there's always that choice. There's always that choice of either succumbing to something and saying, oh, life's horrible, all these things are happening to me, you know, this person cheated on me, or, you know, this person's stuffed me over. Yeah, you can look at things that way, but how is that going to help you? How is that going to help you in the long run?
Yes, but in that moment, I think also it's so important to like allow yourself to feel, if that's what you're feeling that, but then not like dwell in it.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, and learn from it, but then also like you have every reason to feel the way you're feeling.
Yeah.
But then, you know, use it as motivation or inspiration, or to move forward and not be stuck in a victim mode.
It's like, it's kind of, give yourself that time to mourn from the experience that you've had. And you'll kind of feel when that's gone through its processes, and then you kind of feel like, okay, moving on to the next step, whatever that it needs to be.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. Yeah. So it's, if you're going through this yourself, just know that one point in time or another, like we've all been there, and I've been through experiences where I've felt my heart ripped out of my chest, and thrown away, right? So like that's the best way of explaining it, because honestly that's what it felt like for me. Yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely the worst feeling ever. But where am I now? I'm at 1,000, a million times stronger than I was before, having gone through that experience, having not resisted that experience.
That's it. And also like when this happened, she mentioned before about like the thing you want to do is to run away. Like that's not an easy fix. That's not a quick fix. Like it's not fixing anything, and you're just gonna prolong the pain even more, and it's gonna cause more issues.
Yeah.
But if you sit with it and you deal with it, you got a chance to, you know, have a different life in the future and have different situations. But if you don't deal with this, you're gonna keep repeating the same cycle and cycle and cycle.
Yeah.
I think the main thing to remember, at least for myself, is with the healing, is that when an emotion comes up regarding the situations that happened in the past that I felt like I worked through, it's just to remember it doesn't mean that I haven't healed. It doesn't mean that I haven't moved forward and moved on. It just means another aspect has come up, because I'm ready to look at it and heal that aspect. But it doesn't mean really that I'm, you know, haven't done the work on it.
Yeah, don't be hard on yourself. So if things are coming up, don't think, oh, I'm back to square one again, because you're not.
No one can tell you like how you should deal with something, and no one can tell you it's got to be a certain set of time. It's only you who can know what's right for you and what you need. But the bottom line, don't suppress what you're feeling. You don't necessarily have to share it with someone, but if you have a close friend you want to talk to and talk about something, you can. But like, yeah, don't suppress it and be honest with yourself and how you're feeling. Thank you guys for watching this video. We're still very new to this, so any feedback or suggestions of what videos we can make, we would appreciate.
Awesome. Bye.